So it's Combine Week, which means every grown man in the entire NFL pilgrimages to Indianapolis to watch a bunch of early 20-somethings jump up and down in underwear. It's not as weird as it seems, trust me. But one of those men is the Titans general manager, Jon Robinson, who met with reporters. And I'm sure you've seen this video before, but I kind of want to watch it with you because I find it to be unique. Look, I think you can look at this video in one of two ways. I think you can either sit there and laugh at him for getting so damn emotional over nothing, or you can look at it the way that I kind of view it, as a guy who grew up a Titans fan, admittedly, from the state of Tennessee, now has a dream job as the general manager of said team, and gets emotional because in a season where they faced beyond adversity, literally the most injured team in NFL history, overcome all of that, get the number 1 seed, but then lose their first game in the playoffs. And you can really see the weight that this is carrying on this man. But anyway, let's just watch this. This angle comes via News Channel 2, WKRN.
Last season ended and you had a second to kind of reassess and you get out your notepad and write down things like what could I have done better? What's on that list?
Yeah, that's what keeps me up at night is...
Okay, so right here, he kind of pauses, kind of looks down, he's collecting his thoughts, and he's thinking, don't you dare cry. Don't do it, dude. You've got all these reporters. Stop it. Jon, stop it. We talked about this. We went over this in the mirror. You promised yourself you would not cry. And then, look, the quivering lip right there. And then he's like, I'm about to answer. Nope.
The trust that ownership has put in me.
He can't even finish the sentence.
Our fans. And that stadium was rocking now.
Okay, he's not wrong there. That stadium was rocking. My goodness. I still think about when Derrick Henry was introduced and just how nuts that stadium went. And then when he went on to score from the King Cat formation on the goal line, I was watching from my home in Chicago, and I could see the glass of water on my coffee table ringing like that scene from Jurassic Park. Those vibrations were coming from Nissan Coliseum. It felt like old Adelphia when that stadium used to be the loudest stadium in football. It was incredible. So he's not wrong there.
And you can only imagine what it would have been like the next one. Okay, so.
All right, hang on. I told myself I wouldn't cry. Oh my gosh, Jon. Look, this is opening up old wounds because that loss was so hard to get over because there was so much promise and potential with this year's team, especially, including everything that they went through. So yeah, again, you can look at this in two ways. You can say, look at this loser crying on camera. Yeah, hey, way to be tough, dude, in a game like football. Way to be football guy tough. Or you can look at it the way I do and say, my gosh, that man cares. That is a man right there. That face right there is the face of a man who is going to be going all in this season. I'm going all in because I want to know what that stadium would have been rocking like the next week. You can discredit Jon Robinson for a lot of bad moves, but guess what? You can discredit a lot of GMs for a lot of bad moves. Bad moves happen, but he has also made a hell of a ton of good moves. In fact, way more good moves than he has bad moves. Because if you remember, when he inherited this team as general manager, the Mike Mularkey days, this was a team that hadn't been to the playoffs in 8 years. Since he's been general manager, they've had a winning record every season. All I'm saying, he's doing something right. And that right there tells me a man who's not well, we did win the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's something to hang your hat on. No, he's I'm pissed. I'm pissed to the point where it brings me to tears. It keeps me awake at night. And again, this is at the NFL Combine, a building where there's more testosterone than spandex.
Pretty long list of stuff that I got to be better at.
Pretty long list of stuff I got to get better at. And you don't hear GMs say that very often because That's basically telling their boss, their owner, like, oh, I'm not getting the job done. In fact, you will very rarely hear a GM openly admit that. But I think because he's got such a good relationship with his boss, Amy Adams Strunk, good relationship with his head coach, Mike Vrabel, like he knows, like I have that job security. So I can admit when I'm wrong, and I can admit when I've failed, and I failed us last season. That's incredible. I mean, this dude doesn't even take a single snap, and yet he's like, no, that whole loss, that's on me. That's leadership right there. I mean, goodness. I love this man. I love him. Just a simple question of like, what's on the list of things that you can be better at? My man goes instantly to Tobey Maguire crying face. Just a Dawson's Creek worth of tears. Again, I'm not a big like emotional guy. I'm not a big crier. Not really a fan when other people cry because usually it means bad things. But this, man, this I respect. Look, sometimes you just need a good cry. But also like, can we go back and watch it one more time and just time how long of a pause it was?
That's what keeps me up at night is...
All right. Timer's going. Oh, man. Look at him. That's incredible.
the trust
Stop timer.
that
Start timer.
ownership has put in me.
Like, I can't remember, like, getting this choked up since the last time I watched Mr. Holland's Opus.
Look around you. There is not a life in this room that you have not touched. We are your symphony, Mr. Holland. We are the melodies and the notes of your opus. And we are the music of your life.
How's that for a reference right there? When's the last time you guys heard a Mr. Holland's Opus reference in a football video? I love Jon Robinson. You know, Titans fans have a saying, in JR we trust. I will trust this guy with the future of this franchise. Playoffs like the one they just had may be frustrating, but it makes it less frustrating to know that this man is carrying that burden more than anyone else is.
And you can only imagine what it would have been like the next week.
Goodness. Come on, JR. Oh, man. Jeez. I don't think I cried this much since my baby was born. Oh, my gosh. Dude. I'm going to need a minute. Kudos to Jon Robinson, dude. Yeah, he's a real one. I freaking love it. I will tighten the hell up for that man any single day. 9 sacks, and they couldn't pull it out. Oof. I think I'm gonna cry. My man is reacting to the Titans' end of season loss the same way I reacted when watching the end of Marley and Me.
Remember how we were always saying what a pain you are? You're the world's worst dog. Don't believe it. Don't believe it even for a minute. As you know, we couldn't find a better dog.
Anyway, all right. See ya. I don't know how to end this thing.